Real talk, real life, real growth.
This is Raw Reality with Tori, Story and Fit with Lily. It's time to drop the tea.
It's time. Long time coming.
Long time coming.
Few weeks now.
Yeah.
Today, guys, we are diving into Tori's birth story. And like I said on Friday, if you listen to our new little chit-chat episode, basically, even if you haven't had a kid, not going through pregnancy, not really in that era of your life yet, I just know you're still going to love today's episode. But also, disclaimer, if you're about to have a child, maybe hold off.
Yeah. When I posted the vlog, which obviously you see and hear everything, I did put a disclaimer up of like, watch at your own discretion, basically. And same goes for this episode. I was really picky with what I listened to prior to my birth. I wanted to keep it positive. I wanted to keep my mindset positive going into labour and birth being my first time. And I can, not that I'm projecting anything today, but a lot of people can project that shit onto you. And you learn that really fast the second you get pregnant because it's like, wait for this, wait for that. Oh, you feel good, just wait for this. And it's like, hey, like stop projecting your shit on me. And I feel like a lot of mums can unintentionally do that. It's not like maliciously, but just pick and choose what you take on. So this episode may be something you come back to later on if you're comfortable with it. Like it's my story. It's not what's going to happen for you. Like, but also could open your eyes to other things as well. A lot of people were like, I'm really glad I watched it. So it's totally up to you, but we're going to deep dive.
Yeah. And all I have to say, if Tori can get through that, I can get through anything in my life.
Yeah. Okay, so gosh, where does one begin?
Let's start the moment your waters break at home.
Yeah.
How many weeks were you?
40 on the dot. So my waters broke on his due date, which is crazy.
At
Because
night.
I thought he was going to come early. My midwife thought he was going to come early. My chiropractor thought he was going to come early. And because I was so big, I was like, you do not surely need to grow anymore. But yeah, waters broke that exact night. And I was trying to do all the things. I was doing the curb walking. I was trying the dates and the teas and like all of that. And like in some ways they may help in their own way. But at the end of the day, Bob's going to come when they want to come. And the biggest thing that can bring on labour is oxytocin, which is your happy hormone, your love hormone. So that night just goes to show that it's true.
And I want to know, because we were meant to come over on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
But we moved it to Thursday night. And I would love to know if he would come on Wednesday night if we were there.
Yeah. Crazy. So, yeah, the girlies came over Thursday night. We were like, let's just hang, have a movie night. Because I was like, at that point, I was like, I thought he was coming a week or two ago. I'm over it. I need to take my mind off it. I need the girlies. The boys were at the sim playing golf. And we were watching Love
Notes, Isabel.
Voicemails by Isabel or something like that. Watch lightly because we were talking the whole time. And that day was the day I flew my mum to Sydney to pick up my brand new car and drive it home. So we're watching this movie. I'm just rolling around on the ball just because I'm like uncomfortable. I'm like massively pregnant. And I'm rolling around the ball. Mum gets home. We're like, oh my God, let's go check out the car. We took it around the block. Love my new car.
So slay.
Get home. Let's go back to the movie. Start playing back on the ball, just rolling around. And I felt a little bit like, I was feeling things. Like I was feeling crampy, but I was like, I'd felt that for like
And I was about
week.
to say, you've kind of been feeling that. It's nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah. So I was like, whatever. So I'm rolling on the ball and I felt like, I guess like a little bit of leakage. And I was like, well, that's not unnormal because I've had really bad discharge my whole pregnancy. So I was like, oh, like I'll just go to the toilet, clean myself up. I stand up and this gush of water just comes out of me. And I am so glad that I got to experience my waters breaking, not in labour, like pre-labour. And it was like the most surreal thing. I just stood up and I start walking to the bathroom and then I turn back and I'm like, girls.
You're like, do you think I've peed myself? My waters are broken.
And they just jump up screaming. Like if you've seen the video, you know. And I was wearing grey pants as well.
Iconic.
Was I wearing grey?
Grey.
Yeah. And they just, like, you could just see. Yeah. And it was, like, warm. And I was like, well, it feels like wee. But it's like, I wouldn't just wee myself like that. Like, my pelvic floor is better than that, you know? And I yell out to my mum. And she screams out, don't call me unless you're in labour. And I scream again, Mum, I'm in labour. Like, my water's just broke. She comes running out. Like,
and the poor lady was exhausted. She's like, I'm going to bed. I'm so
I know.
tired.
She was so tired. She got up at 4, done a workout, flew to Sydney, drove 8 hours home. The poor thing just wanted to go to bed. So yeah, waters broke and contractions started instantly, which is crazy. So we've called Jackson and been like, hey, it's time to have a baby.
Because most people waters break and they don't feel anything for a while.
Yeah.
But like, I'm going to say yours was a good 5 minutes, not even, because like you got into the shower and you were like, I just need to rinse off and put on some new freaking clothes. And we FaceTime Taylor and then all of a sudden you're like bending over in the shower. I'm like, already?
Yeah, it was wild. And I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure the stat of waters breaking before labour is not very high.
Really?
Like most of the time either your waters need to be broken or they break in labour. Like it's not super common that they break like that, like you see in the movies.
It was literally, it was exactly like the movies. It broke straight into intense contractions straight away.
And they were like straight away 5 minutes apart.
Yep.
And I was timing them. The funniest thing is, so I was using whatever contraction app. And so you track your contractions and then it gives you like easy, mild, sore, painful, like it just obviously goes down the line. And I'm like, oh yeah, that was bad. Like that one hurt. And so Jackson's like, oh, okay, like if they're hurting now, like it's probably going to get really bad.
Yeah, he was like, that was not that. No, dial it down. And you're like, no, but it hurt. He's like, no, it didn't.
And then, come back to me 40 hours later and I would have said something different.
You'd be like, that was a 1. That was a start.
That was a negative. That was a baby period cramp.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically started 5 minutes apart. So I've called my midwife and said, hey, waters have broken. And so I was planning for a home birth and I had said yes to a home birth from about 30 weeks. Mm-hmm. So just a bit of a backstory because I didn't really speak about it prior because I wanted to, again, keep that to myself. I have this fear around the hospital. I don't love the hospital system. I've had pretty negative experiences and I've always had a home birth on my mind, but obviously that comes with its own risks and I guess another, not fear, but just like uncertainty, I guess. You don't obviously have that at your beck and call with all the medical things. So I took my time deciding what I wanted to do. So initially I booked in at Gold Coast Uni Hospital. I went there for an appointment, absolutely hated it and never wanted to step foot in there again. And I was like, okay. And then I spoke to my midwife and I was like, I really want to talk about a home birth. And she's done multiple home births. And so we ended up locking it in. And the more I did the hypnobirthing classes, the more I was like really confident about it and was like, I can do this. And like home birth is so popular now. And I just knew I was in good hands as well. So I decided on a home birth and not until 30 weeks. My midwife was like, okay, cool. So let's get organized. So I got my birth pool, did all the things. So basically, obviously my midwife is an endorsed midwife and then you have a second midwife as well. And yeah, so we were at home. The girlie's got the birth pool out. We started setting it up.
Tina set up. Yeah. I've got the vlog camera. I'm like, let's go, everyone.
I'm so glad you got footage. And then also my mum through the whole labour took so many videos and photos.
She did.
And
they were
so
good.
Glad. Yeah, she did very well.
Yeah.
Very well. So yeah, I think you guys stayed for what, like 2 hours?
It was exactly 2 hours because we left at 10:30.
Yeah.
And because it got to a point where I was like, oh, there's nothing else like we can do. Like, but
it was nice because I was like, we sat back down on the couch and I was still like going through contractions, but like it wasn't like I was talking through them. And it's so funny because I remember we all watched like Sarah's Day's birth vlog where it's like contraction and then she's like perfectly fine. And then you were like, I'd be in a contraction. I'd be like, yep, this is painful. And then I'd stand up and be like, so like, and you're like, are you serious?
It was, for me, you were like, like your contractions got pretty intense really quickly.
Yeah.
And I was like, this baby's going to get here in literally 3 hours just of how fast
and
how painful they were getting every single contraction, like more and more. But a vivid memory was you were on the couch and you were like rolling on the ball like through a contraction and then it finished and you got out your phone, started going CapCut and editing your like, what was it?
It was like labor watch.
And I was like, brother, why are we editing in labour?
Because I knew I like had to get it up before like I was going to have the baby, you know. But it's crazy how like once it's done, you feel nothing. It's wild, obviously until they get more intense. But it definitely is very intense period pain. I will say that. So once the girls left, it was just like taking it slow. My midwife was like, let's keep tracking them. And then once they get to a certain point, that's when she comes over. So I did the TENS machine for a bit. I spent a lot of the time laying on the bed. That's just like what felt comfortable for me.
Wait, just to kind of backtrack a little bit, your midwife was a while away there, wasn't she?
Yeah, so she had just moved 8 hours away from Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Like an 8-hour drive.
And then like pretty much as soon as you said, my waters are broken.
Yeah, she got in the car.
She got in the car. But then I was low-key freaking out that she wasn't going to make it in time.
Yeah, because we thought he was coming real fast, considering like how quick things were happening. So I was like, perfect, he's coming on the 26th of the 6th. It's like my goal. Really cool birthday for him. Anyway, so yeah, she jumped in the car straight away, and then the second midwife, she's not far, so she just kind of waited it out. So yeah, we're just, you know, working through contractions, hours go by, and like that first few hours of that, like, was it a Thursday? Yeah, Thursday night was so, like, it went so fast. I'd look at the time like, wow, how's it already been 2 hours? I think because you're like just like focusing on each contraction at a time.
And it's kind of exciting at the start.
Yeah, because you know, like you're about to meet him.
Oh my goodness,
yeah,
like it's happening.
Yeah. So yeah, laying on the bed for a lot of it, and obviously they just progressed. Midwives got there about 2-3 a.m. And once they got there, they were like quite intense. And I started to get a bit of back labor, like really in my back. And I was like, this is not fun. So a lot of the time on the bed, ramping up the TENS machine. Then I jumped in the shower because I thought the shower was going to be like my place. And I really, really loved it. But I had the fit ball in the shower and I was like leaning over it. But it was too hard for me to like be on my knees and like hold myself up. Like it just wasn't comfortable. I wanted to be able to lay in the shower and I just couldn't really do that. So I didn't last very long in the shower.
Mine would have been perfect for you, the double shower.
Oh yeah, I could have laid it with both showers on. Should have come over. Yeah, so it didn't last very long in the shower. Then I went back to the bed and I just kind of laid on the bed for a long time and was like trying to kind of snooze between contractions.
Were you in a lot of pain at this point?
Yeah. Yeah, so that this was really like early hours of Friday morning.
Because I remember, because your mum was like updating me throughout the time with the videos that she took.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, she looks not like you're struggling, but like I could see the pain in your eyes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I don't think this is as easy as we thought it was going to be.
No. So yeah, the midwives got there about 2 or 3 a.m. and yeah, just progressively getting more intense. And then I would say probably like 5, 6 a.m. like I was really starting to feel it in my back, like unbearable. Like it really felt like someone was snapping the bones in my back every contraction. Like,
and how far were the contractions apart?
We were averaging like 3 or 4 minutes apart.
Awesome. So 3 to 4 minutes, your back is breaking.
Yeah.
Balls.
That's the only way to describe it. Like someone's like literally snapping bones. Like
you wouldn't be able to get comfortable either.
No, you can't. So yeah, I then at that point she was like, let's get in the pool. She had done, I think at that point she was like, do you want me to check like how far dilated you are? And I was like, absolutely, because surely he's on his way. And once I got in the pool, I kind of felt like not urges to push, but just more pressure coming down. And I was like, he can't be far away. Anyway, so I'm like, yeah, please check me. So I'm laying in the pool, kind of like pull my feet up, have to like lift my bum so she can go in and check how dilated I am.
How do you check how far someone's dilated?
They basically insert their fingers and like do this.
And then take it out. So it's like how a girl measures.
Like kind of, but they've obviously been trained like a certain way to do it. But that's kind of like, I'm pretty sure how they do it.
Right.
Because, yeah. So then she came out and she said, what at that point? Jackson's like the best with like the timings because I had no idea of times. But I think I was about 4 centimeters. So I'm like coming up to 12 hours in.
And you need to be 10 centimeters dilated. No, 8 to push. 10 to push.
10, okay. Yeah. 10 is full dilation. And they like to get, or some midwives, everyone's different, but they like to get to 10, then wait another hour so the baby's like fully descended. Then you can push. So I'm at 4 and I'm nearly 12 hours into labor. And I was like,
sun's
cool.
rising.
Yep, sun is rising. And she was like having a feel around. She's like, I think baby's posterior, which explains the back labor. So posterior is spine on spine. He's still head down, but spine on spine. And she's like, let's get out of the pool and try to do some like activations to try and get him to flip.
And when you went into labor, he wasn't originally posterior.
No.
But I remember, and I don't know if he just twisted as soon as you started labor, but you were like, oh my God, that was such a big kick as soon as you went into labor.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that was him twisting.
Like rolling,
and ready to be like, okay, I'm ready to go, but I want to go opposite way.
Yeah. Rude. I was like, it explains the back labor. So we get out of the pool, we go back to the bedroom, we try to do like side lying release. So it's like lying on the side, like over the bed. She's doing like massage, trying to like really get him to like roll over. And for those next few hours, the labor was just like indescribable, the pain. Like if he wasn't posterior, I feel like I would have breezed through, but the posterior labor's cooked. And so it got to I'm going to say 8 a.m. or 7 or 8 a.m. and I was like, I need pain relief.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I got
I was gonna say.
4 injections in my back, which are like, I think they're like water injections or
Saline.
something. Holy moly, they hurt so bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So painful.
if you're saying that's painful and labor's painful, yeah.
So I'm laying in bed and she's doing 2 on each side. I think they helped for maybe like 45 minutes. Yeah.
So is that basically you think to put fluid in your back to help relieve some sort of distance,
I think
maybe?
so, yeah, something like that. So yeah, that relieved for maybe like 45 minutes.
Do you think the pain getting them was worth taking the pain off for 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just like this really long, intense sting, kind of, which they did warn me.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I got back in the pool and then I was like, okay, I need pain relief. Like, let's go to the hospital. And I was like, okay. And so I also changed my hospital to Tweed because I had heard so many great things. I heard great things about GCHU, but I just was like, I don't want to drive to Southport. I don't want to be that way. It's emergency. No thanks. So I chose Tweed. So we get in the car at about, I think we packed up and left about 9 a.m. Mum was like kind of cleaning up the house and I look over and I'm like, you're coming, right? She's like, oh, you want me to come? I was like, get your ass in the fucking car. I'm not going without you. So we packed up the car. So one midwife came with me to the hospital and the car ride. The car ride. I'm laying in the back seat screaming the whole way to the hospital. Jackson was like, that was the worst car ride ever. I'm like squeezing the seats. I'm like, because it's about like 20, 25 minutes.
And you're having contractions in the car. And the reason you got in the car to go to the hospital was because your contractions were nearly so unbearable that you couldn't push through them.
Yep.
And now you're having them in a fucking car.
Yeah. At 9 a.m. on a Friday morning. So like traffic, right? Jackson, I think, got up to like 140 on the M1 to get down there.
Surely if you got pulled over, they would just go,
Yeah.
don't even
They end up like guiding you. Yeah. So yeah, we get to the hospital and I tried the gas first because I did still really want to try and not have epidural.
Sorry, question.
Yeah.
How long did it take to go from the car into your hospital room? Like, do you have to freaking go through like admission?
As soon as we pulled in, they put me in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And took me straight into a
Right,
birth
so it was
suite.
ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I would have got there and they were like, there's no rooms available, no idea what would have happened. But
you called them and told them you're going to labour, right?
Yeah. So my midwife, I think, calls them once my waters break to let them know. And then obviously calls them saying we're coming in. Yeah. So yeah, got straight into the birth suite, got on the gas. I was a bit nervous about the gas because I thought it would make me feel nauseous. But I was like, we'll give it a go. So I started on the gas. I think I lasted maybe an hour and I was like, it's doing nothing. I need epidural. So I was not at that point I was just like, take the pain away. And so got there at 9, by 12:30 I got the epidural. And
meanwhile, you went into labour 8:30 the night before.
Yeah, so well over 12 hours now. And got the epidural, which was nice.
Was it painful going in? Because that's what I'm most terrified about labour is the epidural going in.
No, because my contractions were so intense.
Right.
So
Great.
they kind of it was hard because I had to work around my contractions because I have to sit up to put the epidural into the back.
Imagine if you got a contraction as they're putting the epidural in and you can't move.
Yeah, well, it's just like they have to sit you up.
I feel sick.
And then I'd have to tell the anaesthetist if the contraction was coming because then it would stop.
Right.
So it's like whole.
As if it's halfway.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really I remember, but I don't.
My heart's racing. That's scary as.
So yeah, he got that in. He was lovely, the anaesthetist. Everyone I came across in the hospital, amazing. It literally healed that hospital fear in me, which was amazing. So yeah, he gets the epidural in, and this is where it kind of goes a bit skewy for me. So if you want all the exact times, it'll be on the vlog with Jackson because he was on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, get the epidural in, and then I think I had a bit of a sleep because the pain eased and I was able to zone out and get some shut eye. So obviously it numbs you from the waist down. They come in every few hours and check with an ice pack to make sure that it's still doing what it needs to do. So obviously once you have the epidural, you can't be up and moving. I'm pretty sure in the States you can get a moving epidural where you can be up and moving around, but I don't know that we have it here.
But if you can't feel your legs, if I did this, could you feel it? Wait, it's not a pain blocker like a C-section.
No.
So
I could still feel them touching me, but it's so hard to explain because they'd come in with this little ice pack, right? And they would go, they'd put it on my belly and I'd be like, yep, freezing. And then they'd put it on down my legs. I couldn't feel the cold, but I could feel them touching me.
Right. So it's like your pain receptors have stopped.
Yeah.
In comparison, when you get a C-section, it's a blocker.
Like gone.
Right. So when they gave you the epidural, in my mind, it didn't stay in your back, did you?
They inject it in the bottom of your like spine.
Yeah.
And then it stays in and then they just tape it all the way up your back.
Right.
And then because it's like running through a drip.
Right. Okay.
And then I also had a clicker where I could top up the epidural.
That's
so
pretty-
you best believe I use that thing a lot.
I was going to say, isn't that pretty dangerous that you get to...
No, because they monitor it.
Right.
And once you click it, you can't click it again for a while until the light goes green. So it's very like monitored.
The second that's going green,
I'm laying there waiting for it to go green, like click, literally. So I got a few hours of shut eye. And then, so with the epidural, I don't know if this is everyone, but this was my case. You want to kind of lay on your back so that it stays center. But I was really comfortable on either side. But what would happen was if I would lay on one side, that's the side the epidural would go to. So then I would start to feel the pain on the other side again. And I had this wild pain in my groin and I think it was my right side. But anyway, the groin and my lower back on one side. Like the groin pain was so bad. And so I had to keep swapping sides so to make sure the epidural would stay even and then sometimes lay on the middle. So I don't know what time we get to, but I asked to be checked again for dilation. So the first time I got checked, say, was like maybe 4 or 5 a.m. And then they check me, I don't know, I'm going to say maybe 3 p.m. or something.
I'm surprised they don't check you as soon as you get in the hospital.
It's up to you what you want. They check me again. I'm 5 centimeters.
Awesome.
So I've dilated 1 centimeter.
And your body's meant to be relaxed at this point.
Yeah.
It's not.
So yeah, still 5 centimeters. And I was like, oh, it's going to be a long night. So we're kind of like looking at, why I'm not progressing. So then I think we tried to do some more side lying release because we knew he was posterior. So really trying to get him to move, basically. She would like feel around. She's like, his head's still definitely engaged, but he's obviously on the wrong side. So he's obviously a bit stuck. So he's not coming down properly. And then the epidural started to wear off. Yeah. So I started to feel contractions again. Not yet.
Okay.
Started to feel contractions again. So the anaesthetist come in and I'm doing those top ups regularly. And he checks everything to make sure it's like still doing what it needs to do. But it just, I don't know, my pain was that intense. It was just overriding. Sorry. So then he gave me something stronger. I can't remember what it was called, but it's basically like the next step up from epidural.
It wasn't oxytocin.
That's like a shot to get
him going because that was later on.
Contraction started. So gave me something to ease the pain more stronger. Then I got some more sleep because that kicked in and I was like, hallelujah, I'm not feeling things. And I could feel very, very minimal pain, which I kind of liked. I could still feel those contractions. So then I think we get to like later in that evening, I think it was maybe 6:30, I want to say. And I'm like, please check me again. Like I need to know.
Because they're also starting to get a little bit worried at that point.
Yeah, they were like, we're going on 24 hours. Like what's going on here? So yeah, she texts me again. And I think I got to, I want to say 6 centimeters. Like things were just not progressing. And I'm getting closer to a C-section. Like I can feel it. And it's like the pain was kind of coming in and out. Like I was feeling contractions on and off. One side, then the other side. It was just like all over the place, what it felt like. So then I think from there, I think we called my midwife and we were like, all right, because they check your dilation every 4 hours. And so we were like, all right, let's wait and see. Called my midwife and she was like, give yourself a little bit more time and see where you're at. And then if you want me to come in, I will. Because at that time, none of my private midwives were there because they didn't need to be because I was 5 centimeters. So we're waiting and then it got to, I want to say, what was that? I reckon she texted me like 6. And then
'Cause
I know there was one at 7:30.
Yeah, I know. Jackson texted me around that time and was
Yeah.
like, basically, they're giving her one more stint of 4 hours. And if nothing has progressed, then we have to look at our options. But
Yeah.
right now, we're just like holding.
Yeah. So then I'm pretty sure I got checked again. Or maybe it was earlier and then that 4 hours was like that 7:30 mark.
Yeah.
Because I remember at that 7:30 mark I got checked and I remember still being like 6 centimetres and I was like, he's not going to come on the 26th because that was nearly over.
Yeah.
And I was really devastated about that. And even the midwife was like, oh, such a cool birthday.
Yeah.
And then I remember after that, one of the doctors came in and did a bedside ultrasound to see where baby was. And she was checking him and she was like, he's perfect. He's in optimal position for labour. So he'd flipped. He was no longer posterior. He was head down and ready to go.
Did you have oxytocin just before this as well?
Don't think
Was it
so.
after?
I think it was after.
Right.
Because I was still not like close enough to start contractions.
I thought they gave you oxytocin to help relax you to then dilate even more.
Don't think so. Because when they
gonna
give you that
cross-check
jab
that
of I'll check with Jackson.
Yeah.
He's really onto it. But I'm pretty sure once they give you oxytocin, it
That's pushing.
kickstarts.
Right.
And like I wasn't ready to do that yet.
Right.
So I was,
Yeah.
I was not wide enough.
yeah.
So because he had flipped and he was ready, my midwife was really happy for me to just keep going and just wait because she knew I wanted a vaginal birth. And she was like, unless you really just want it done and opt for a C-section, which I don't think she would have let me anyway. I don't think anyone in the room would have let me because they were like, well, he's in optimal position. We just have to wait it out. And I'm like,
And he was safe
cool.
and you were safe.
Yeah. Heart rates were good. Like everyone was chilling. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So yeah, she's like, let's wait it out. I think I got some more rest. I think Jackson tried to get some rest and my mum, they were just kind of like alternating. I think my mum went home for a bit actually. She fed the dogs. Actually had to put the car seat in the car because we hadn't done that. So she had to figure that out. And so at that point we called my midwife as well, just being like, hey, this is where we're at. Baby's flipped. We're good. Or I think she was there at that point. Then she went home because we decided to just wait it out. Then we got to about, I thought it was 9 p.m. when I started to feel a whole heap of pressure down there. But 9 p.m.
Or a little bit later?
I think maybe it was later.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it got later. And I woke up and I was like, I'm feeling so much pressure in my bum. And she was like, this is amazing. This is what we want. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, can you check me? Because I think it had only been 2 hours since she'd last done a dilation check. And I was like, no, like I need you to check. She's like, all right. So she goes in and she's like, you're a 9 centimeters. I'm like, let's go. Like we're on route here. And also I want to just say as well, when you go into labor at a hospital, generally you have a student midwife. We're back with a little friend.
Said child. Said
We've
child
had a
that's about
costume
to come out.
change and child is here. All right. So we just confirmed with the boss as well that I was 9 centimeters at 11:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Which makes way more sense.
Yeah.
So she checks me and I'm 9. And I said, I have all this pressure. And I was like, I low-key like need a push. And she was like, all right, let's get ready. So basically we get the room ready. Also, at one point, I had to change rooms because the power went out in my room.
Oh, what? You didn't tell me that?
I forgot about that. I don't know what time it was, but they just like wheeled me.
Imagine mid pushing the power goes
Imagine. Dead.
like actually dead though.
Yeah. like actually like epidural stops. Yeah, so I think they were doing something and like a few rooms had gone out. So they were about to, so they had to move me just next door, but they just went to wheel everything, pack the bags and move next door.
Awesome.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm like, hey, like feeling like I need a push. And she was like, all right, well, let's get things ready. Jackson's asleep at this point. And mum's like pushing him. She's like, your baby's about to come out. I'm like, cool. So feeling like I need to push, getting ready. So I had mum and Jackson on each side of me and I had Jackson holding one leg and I'm holding his head.
So when you say you're about to start to push, like, do you just start pushing or like you feel he's coming? So like
you feel the pressure.
Right. And you're like, okay, leg up, let's go.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I was really glad that I could still, because some people with epidural feel nothing and that's when the midwives have to tell them to push.
Right.
And that's when you increase your risk of tearing.
Right.
Whereas I could still kind of feel that pressure and like the contractions of when to push.
Yeah.
I did get to a point where my midwife was like, push. And so, yeah, I've got Jackson in a headlock. Mum's got her arm around me. My private midwife got there at this point and like all the other midwives at the hospital.
And they turn the epidural down so you can feel the...
Yeah, I think so. I
Contractions.
don't really know.
Because they want you to feel the contractions.
Yeah, but
Slightly.
I think everyone's situation may be
Yeah.
different, like depending on where you're at. But I felt like every single little thing.
Yeah.
So whether it just didn't do anything, whether it turned down, I'm not sure. So yeah, we start pushing, and I know it took about an hour to get his head out. So that was a long hour. And it was really just like he'd come out and go back in, and come out and go back in. The one thing that pissed me off was my mum and two of the midwives. Every time I push, he's so close, he's right there, because they could see like this little bit of hair coming out of me. But I would push and they'd see him, and then he'd go back in. So they're telling me I'm close, I'm there
For an hour. So close.
and I'm like, shut the fuck up. And I had a flannel over my head, basically just taking myself to another planet and just trying to push, bear down. Every time I'd push, my midwife's like, push into your bum, because you want to push like you're doing a poo. And it literally feels like you're doing the biggest poo of your life, which is just like so bizarre.
Does it feel like it's stretching?
Your bum hole or your
Just everything.
Yeah, it really does. So yeah, it took about an hour to get his head out, which I did, and then big head, by the way. He was on the 97th percentile with his little head, so nailed that one. Yeah, got his head out, and then at that point they realised he was stuck and had shoulder dystocia. So
what is that?
Shoulder dystocia is where the shoulder gets stuck on your pelvic bone. So your pelvis is obviously in the way. That can come down to your pelvis is in an oddly shape, or it just sits funny, or because he was a bigger baby. Shoulder dystocia is very common in big babies.
And they warned you of this as well beforehand.
Yeah, so my wife spoke to me maybe a month before he was born, like going over shoulder dystocia, what that looks like, what it means, especially like with wanting to have a home birth as well. She had done a few shoulder dystocia deliveries at home. Now, I had my final scan at 22 weeks, and he was well over the percentile charts. They wanted me to do a 32 and a 36-week growth scan to check on how he was tracking size-wise, and I chose not to do them because I just had done research. I'd spoken to so many people, and scans, the bigger they get, the more inaccurate they get. And I think it's like a 15% mark of like they could be way off. So I remember I posted a TikTok saying this, and so many people commented saying, I did this scan, they said he was well over the charts, he came out tiny, or vice versa. And so I just opted out, and I was like, I'd already had double the amount of scans because our 12-week scan was wrong. Then our 20-week scan couldn't get the right photos. So I didn't really want to put him under more scans that I didn't necessarily have to. Now, looking back in hindsight, I would do it for the next one, because if we can get away with shoulder dystocia and that happening again, I would do it.
But then how is it going to change anything?
Because they could induce me earlier, so he's not as big. And
do you think, though, if you knew that he was more inclined to have it, I don't think you would have opted for inducing, but it's now because you've gone through what actually can happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, good job. Yeah, and so, you know, because the way they explain shoulder dystocia, yes, it goes to an emergency, but like until you experience it, it doesn't really, not that it doesn't sound bad, but like I didn't read into it
They're just
enough.
like shoulder stuck, got to get the shoulder out.
Yeah. So it's not like you're thinking of the worst kind of thing. So, yeah, his head comes out and they're like, all right, he's got shoulder dystocia. So basically from there, midwife needs to insert her hands around his head into my vagina and get his arm out above his head to then let him slide out.
So his arm's above his head as well?
No, so it's down, it's stuck. They need to pull one arm out over his head
to
then let him slide out because it's stuck.
Right.
Now, midwife, either her hands were too small or she wasn't strong enough to like get in there and pull it out. So then the doctor comes in. All the music went off. Lights still stayed off, which was great. More people come in the room.
It's emergency now.
It's emergency.
Yeah.
I had taken myself out of the room at this point. So also when the midwife was trying to get his arm out, another midwife is up pushing on my belly to try and like push his shoulder out the way. That pain was just like the back labor times 1,000, because like she's pushing on him, which is then pushing on like everything inside your stomach. So,
and I can imagine it's not a light push.
No.
Now, what I'm comparing it to, just for anyone who like obviously isn't pregnant or have a baby.
The TikTok video?
Oh no, I'm comparing it to like when I go see a chiropractor and they're releasing my hip flexor.
Yeah.
I hate that feeling so much. Anytime they're going to do it, I'm like, I will have tight hip flexors.
Yeah.
And so I'm imagining that pregnant, in labor, contracting
with a child.
times a million.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
It's like, I don't even know how to describe that pain. It was just, and I wasn't expecting it either. I didn't know she was going to get up and start pushing my belly. She just did it, because obviously it turns emergency. So once their head comes out, they realize they're stuck. They have about 8 minutes to get them out before they have risk of brain damage. I obviously didn't know all of this when it's happening. I didn't know he had shoulder dystocia in the moment. Again, I kind of took myself out of the room. And at this point, I don't need to push. It's about them getting...
And they're also not needing to tell you while you're mid-contracting and pushing. It's going to go in one ear and out the other.
Yeah. Obviously, Mum and Jackson can see everything. Jackson started to freak when he saw our private midwife's face and the doctor's face. And he was like, okay, something's going on here. He's looking at my midwife going, what the fuck is going on? She's kind of trying to reassure him. And like... But like, how do you?
And if
really?
you listen to your YouTube as well, or obviously not watching but listening, you can see how fast everyone's moving.
Yeah.
And it's a controlled panic.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very much things are happening right now.
Yeah, and things need to get out. So the doctor comes in and he, basically just moves the midwife out of the way. I don't know, like, I have not seen videos because the camera got moved, but it felt like he was up to his elbows inside of me. So you imagine like Tate's head's out of me, then doctor's arms are inside of me to grab his...
Around the baby.
Yeah. The bed is jolting, moving. Like, it's just like someone's inside of you, someone's coming out of you, and they're trying to like rip his shoulder out to then get him out. Because when babies come out, they do like a nice tumble turn. And when you like really look into the physiology of like a baby being born, it is amazing. Like how they know what to do and like turn. It's wild. But obviously he was stuck. So he needed to like get his arm out so then he could make that movement and come out. I don't know how long it took them, but like it felt forever in the moment. His head was blue. So that's when Jackson saw him and was like freaking out. And obviously there's sirens going off and buzzers and things. He gets his arm out, and then from there, I can't remember if I did a little push or he really did just slide out. Because most of the time, once the head's out, it's like one push and the body comes out kind of thing. So they got him out, threw him onto me, like my belly. And I think I like felt him. But again, I'm pretty sure I still had the flannel over my head.
And you've just been screaming. Like it's not a casual labor push. It's like a screaming, I'm in the worst pain I've ever experienced in my whole entire life.
Yeah. Yeah, hello. So, they put him onto me and basically he's lifeless. They cut the cord straight away, took him over to like the other little bed across the room and did resuscitation and gave him oxygen because he was not with us, the little man. Bless Jackson, he like looks at me and he's like, are you good? Like, do you want me to stay with you? What do you want me to do? I was like, go with him. Like, just be with him. I didn't still know what was happening. And I knew that like babies can sometimes take a while to cry. So I hadn't heard him cry, but I wasn't like too stressed about it.
Because you didn't know he was lifeless at this point either.
No. Yeah, so I didn't know he was lifeless at this point. They cut the cord, took him away. Jackson went over with him. It felt like they were working on him for hours. Like it just felt like so long. But in the meantime, I've obviously like got to get my placenta out. So
Forget about that part.
Yeah. They gave me a shot in my leg, which induces contractions again to get the placenta out. Yeah. But that was like nothing. That was like a prickle. So shot either side of the leg, which kind of, induces you to like push.
Do you have to normally get induced for your placenta?
You don't have to, but I think just with everything that was...
They just get it out and get it done.
Pretty much. Yeah. So I had to get the placenta out. So the doctor was still there and I remember they gave me the shots and I just did one big push and he was kind of pulling on it as well. The relief when that placenta came out was the best feeling I've ever felt in my life.
Wow.
Like... Guys, my placenta was 1.2 kilos. An average placenta is 500 grams.
1.2 kilos. Plus you got him.
Yeah, plus him, which we'll get to how much he weighed.
Yeah.
So you could imagine the relief. It was I can't even describe how good it felt to get that thing out. Anyway, so the placenta comes out. I'm still on the gas. I'm like in and out of like screaming, gas, all the things.
Consciousness.
So then I hemorrhaged. So I lost 1.2 liters of blood.
So is that just basically bleeding out of your vagina?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I think it's very common with shoulder dystocia. Let's just say, thank God, I got a iron infusion the few weeks before I went into labour. So my mum's freaking out because she's seeing me just this blood gushing out of me. She thinks I'm about to die. Jackson thinks Tate's about to die because they're like, he's just not alive. Excuse me. And so they're over there for like quite a while. Then you started to like hear him scream. You could hear the oxygen like kind of going in, and they're like trying to activate his chest and stuff. And so then I heard him do a little scream, and then he did a big scream, and you just felt the relief in the room of the doctors. Like you just would be like, I think you just hear like, oh, there he is, there we go. Like, and I just, again, I wasn't really aware of what was happening. I was still not in my body. And I just remember hearing that scream and being like, cool, we're good. Everything's fine. Meanwhile, Mum and Jackson are like having heart attacks.
Yeah.
So then they were fiddling around with like putting something on him, I think to test his oxygen levels or something. They were fiddling around for ages, and Jackson was like, get my son on his mother's chest, like right now. He said it like 4 times and started to get really like assertive because they were just piss fighting around. And then they finally were like, okay, yeah, put him on my chest, calm instantly, was just like relaxed. The one thing I'm like,
how do they stop hemorrhaging?
had I?
Yeah, like how do they stop
They
that?
give you a shot.
Right.
Stop bleeding. So the one thing that like is a bit like for me, I felt like disheartened is like the feeling, I didn't get that feeling when he was put on my chest. Obviously just with like the pain, the shock. Again, I took myself out of the room. Like I just was not there mentally, not in my body. So when he was put on my chest, I'm still on the gas. Like I was sucking on that thing like there was no tomorrow. I remember like I was just like eyes closed and I was just touching, like I was just holding him and he was just kind of like wiggling around on my chest. They're trying to like get him to latch straight away. And I just like wasn't really there. Like it was just like the weirdest feeling.
Well, I just feel like you'd be so disconnected from your body as well. Like
fully.
Your legs are wide set. You've just had this baby, doctor's hands up you, pushing on your stomach, injections here. You've done like, how many hours were you in labour at this point?
31.
32 hours of labour. Like you're just not feeling any sort of sensation. So he's on your chest and you're like, what is this thing?
You're just like exhausted.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah. So it was like a good, I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know how long he was there, but just trying to get him to latch, and then they finally like left him for a bit. And the midwife was beautiful. She's like, all right, everyone's going to leave the room. Like lights will stay dim. You just have your time, which was really, really nice. And we kind of were just like, oh my God, like this is our baby. And then she comes back in, they clean him up, and then it was time to weigh him. And my midwife, bless her, she was like, I'm a guru at like guessing babies' weights. She's like holding him, feeling him. She's like, and he was so swollen.
So inflamed.
Like I gave birth to a sumo wrestler.
No, guys.
Basically.
You have no idea. When I saw that photo, I said, Tori's a toddler. How did he get out of you?
Yeah. And so she's
He's
like
smaller
holding
now,
him.
I reckon.
Yeah, he literally got way small after birth. Yeah, she's holding him. I think she initially said 4.6 kilos. But then in her head, she's like, that's huge. Like he can't be that big. So I think she dropped down to 4.2 or something. And then she puts him on the scale. 4.71.
4.77
kilos. 10.
Dude, I'm doing lateral raises with that.
10.4 pounds. Yeah. And I was a 9-pound 2 baby, I think, and Jackson was 9.4 or something.
3 pounds. 1-point-something kilos.
No way. Yep, 10 pounds. And I've always said I love a chunky baby, but like I cooked him well. And it makes sense because he took everything from me during pregnancy.
Yeah.
I had nothing left.
No.
He took it all. So we breed them big around here. So yeah, 10.7. My midwife's like, I've not seen a baby this big in years. And I was like, cool.
And the doctors came back in and were literally like, I heard you birthed a toddler.
Yeah.
Like they were shocked as well.
Yeah. Doctors came in and were like, oh my God. Like it was the talk of the hospital, which is crazy. And then they have to come in and examine me, see if I've torn. I'm like, my vagina's ripped to shreds. Like, there is no way I'm not walking out of here with like a 4th degree tear.
Hands have been in you.
Ripped to my bum hole. Like, I was just like, I'm shattered, basically. My midwife's standing at my head and the doctor's examining me and I'm just looking up at her. I'm like, it would be a miracle if I didn't tear and like, could walk out of here like quite nicely. The doctor's looking at me, looking back at my vagina, looking at me, looking back. And he's like, you haven't torn. And I've looked at my midwife and I'm like, what, sorry? He's like, you have an elastic vagina. I was like, what do you mean I haven't torn? Like, miracle, actual miracle. Anyway, so he leaves the room, comes back in, and my midwife comes back in, the hospital midwife, and I'm like, I haven't torn. And she's like, oh, I'm just going to check myself one more time. So she goes in, has a look, and she's like, so there's a minor tear. I had a minor grade 1 tear internal.
Which is
nothing. So they've got to put my stitches in. I was back on the gas because the stitches were quite painful.
Yeah, fuck that. Just all of this.
And the way I just looked down, that's when they put my legs in stirrups to do the stitches. Awesome. And I just looked down. The doctor's like, it's like he's just sewing a blanket. And I could just feel every little bit. He did put like numbing cream on it. Or I think maybe he gave me a numbing injection or something like that. Just stitching. And I was just like, oh, yeah, just like knitting a blanket or something down there. Like I was just like, just add it on top, So, yeah, minor 1 degree tear, internal. I'll absolutely take that after birthing a toddler. So we spent a few hours in that room. All the doctors, the midwives leave. It's just me, Jackson, mum, Tate, the midwife.
And something that was also really beautiful, Jackson still got to cut the umbilical cord.
Yes. Oh, my God, the midwife. So her name's Rosie, and I keep saying I need to send her something. She's amazing, like the most amazing midwife. Obviously, my private midwives are amazing, but she was like the midwife that delivered him. Because they had to just cut the cord and get him to oxygen. She cut it like extra long so Jackson could still experience cutting the cord. And she would not leave because she was on night. So I had a midwife the day I got there. Then Rosie came on that night, and then her shift finished like that. Basically, as he was being delivered and cleaned up and things, like that was her time to like go home. She wouldn't leave. She's like, Jackson, you need to cut the umbilical cord. Aww. It was the most beautiful thing. So they put him on my chest and she was like, okay, here you go, like cut the cord. And then she gave us a full show of my placenta, like showing us what it looks like, showing the sack that he was in, and she couldn't believe like how big it was. And the tree of life also comes from the placenta, which makes so much sense when you see like the veins through the placenta. And the fact that we grow that from scratch. Crazy. Like, what do you mean? Like,
no wonder you were so sick.
Yeah.
Like, far out.
And it was so red. And he just had like so much colour because I fed him well.
Yeah.
He had so much colour. I was just like, and I didn't even get to do delayed cord cutting. So I didn't even, like, the placenta was just pulsing. Like, it was so red. But yeah, he obviously like didn't eat it because he was absolutely fine. So yeah, we spent a few hours just there, and then they move you to like the other, like the birth, not the birth suite, like the hospital room. Yeah. And it's the most bizarre thing because they kind of all wheel you in, and my midwife stayed and helped me had my first shower, which was just phenomenal. They held me and like walked me to the shower, sat me down. The blood that was just like pouring out of me, crazy. And there was like 2 shower heads. So she had 1 shower head, I had the other one, and just like washed in my skincare, chucked my hair in a slick back. Felt so good. And then got into bed, and then the midwives, like, they all leave. And me and Jackson were just like, the door shut. And I remember this so vividly, and we just looked at each other and looked at Tate, and we were just like, now what? Like, this is it now. Like,
for the rest of your life.
We got to keep him alive. We got to look after him. Like, it's just like the most weirdest feeling. And I did not sleep a wink. Jackson passed out straight away on the couch. I was just laying there staring at Tate. I called Taylor and Riley, called my dad.
And me.
Yeah. And just, I called you first, obviously. Yeah. And just was like, oh, like, I just did not sleep at all. So yeah, he was born at 2:50 a.m. on the 27th of the 6th, 26th. And we left the hospital at 6 p.m. that night. They wanted us to stay overnight only to check his blood sugars because he was such a big baby. They tested him like 4 times during the day. His sugars were all fine. They took my bloods to make sure that I didn't need a blood transfusion or an iron infusion, and my levels were still great. So
After losing a liter of blood,
we will take that. So like we were all fine, and I just wanted to get home. I wanted to see Ziggy. I wanted to just be in my own bed. And yeah, everything was fine. So we headed home. And yeah, got home and like did the introduction to Ziggy, and he was just like sniffing him and like, what's going on? He was so excited.
Right now.
He was so excited. And then life began as parents. But yeah, it was obviously like a very, very intense experience and nothing that I planned, obviously.
So I will be going straight for an epidural after I've heard all 3 of our friends' stories. I'm like, oh, okay.
You know what's crazy? And I said this to Jackson this morning as I was doing my makeup. So the day we got home, like the next day, I looked at Tate and I was like, so how do you feel about being an only child? Because mummy does not want to do that again. Pregnancy or labor. 2 days later, 5 more kids.
Yeah.
Give me 5 more. Like just, I would do that over and over again if it means I could have more of these. Like,
wow.
yeah, like it's so worth it. I definitely will see a homeopath before I start trying again.
What's that?
They're kind of like a naturopath, but different. I'm not sure like what the difference is, but basically there's like a hormone that you can try and control so you don't have HG in your next pregnancy. So I'm going to do all the things that I can to try and not feel like that my next pregnancy. And I said to Jackson this morning, I was like, I'm still like so fine with labor. Like
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I genuinely thought, I was like, I think you're going to have to see a psychologist after that. And you did say
I was
initially.
really, really bad after those first few days. I was in so much shock.
Yeah.
Because the intensity once it went emergency was just like nothing else I've ever experienced, obviously. But I've had time to process, and like I still will speak to like my hypnobirthing coach about it because she does like birth trauma sessions and stuff and see what comes up. But like once they're here and you've got them, it's just like
you forget.
And everyone was like, you'll forget it. I'm like, no, I won't. You do. And I still obviously remember all of it and like the feelings of things, but you just would do it again. And so I definitely will monitor pregnancy next time in terms of like their size. I low-key still would like to have a home birth. Like it's still a goal. But I definitely would have more growth scans and like just be on top of that more, because if I don't have to experience that and the next baby doesn't have to experience shoulder dystocia, then great.
I think you're going to have a really good next birth.
Well, let's hope so.
I think so.
They say like because your body is used to
I think you're so stretched.
Yeah.
It's just going to...
Yeah. So like they say it does get better. But the doctors came in the next day and that afternoon, they basically do like a birth debrief. My doctor who like delivered him came in and apologized like 3 times. And because obviously I didn't speak to him whilst I was in labor, obviously. When he came in the second time to apologize, he was like, oh, like it's nice to like speak to you. Like you're actually speaking to me. And I was like, yeah, well, I couldn't because you were ripping my child out of me. But then it's like I was like thanking him because I was like, you did what you had to do. And you
saved my baby's
You did
life.
it well. Yeah. And then we've taken him to the chiro within the first week, and she was like, you've got away scot-free. Like, because a lot of babies with shoulder dystocia can have broken collarbones, dislocated shoulders, nerve damage, so many things. And he is perfect.
He is.
She was like, he was a bit tight on one side. He kept like turning his head to one side, so it was a bit tight. Other than that, he's fine. And I was like, mate, you're a champion.
He's going to be a tough little cookie, let me tell you that.
Yeah, he is. But yeah, definitely will monitor size of the next baby and like speak about my options probably a bit earlier, because basically the doctors came in and they were like, highly recommend doing your growth scans next time. And I was like, yes, okay, I will. Now that we know that like I'm probably going to have big babies. And basically your options are like you can get induced early so they're not as big, or C-section, basically. So it's just about like going through the next pregnancy and like seeing how big they are, what things look like, and then making a decision from there. There was multiple times in labor where I was like, cut me open and rip him out of me, like take me into C-section, because I was done. Like I was tapped out. And then in labor, I just remember looking into my mum's eyes and being like, I can't do this. Like, She, like, her heart was breaking.
I can imagine.
She was, because I'm just looking at her going, I can't do it. Get him out of me. Like, I remember saying that over and over again. And just Mum and Jackson being like, you've got this. Like, he's nearly here and in your arms. Like, you can do it.
Like, I fucking can't.
I can't push anymore.
Where I am.
And I just remember, like, when I was pushing his head out, like, she'd be like, push and push and push. And the more I was, like, in a sit-up position, the more I felt like I could push. So my poor mum has, like, literally an injured shoulder because she was, like, lifting me up. And I kept looking at her being like, lift me more, lift me more. She, like, will hold Tate and then she'll give him back to me and she's like, I can't move my arm. Like, she has to go see a chiro. Like, she's damaged. And you'd be, like, pushing and she'd be like, push more. I'm like, I'm going to pass out because I actually can't breathe.
That's what I was thinking. Like, surely people have blood vessels in their eyes.
100%, yeah. Because, yeah, you get to a point where you can't breathe and she's like, and push again. And I'm like, I'm in the middle of a push. I can't push more. But it's just like because they see him like coming in and out. But I think that was the one thing, and I spoke to like our good friend Corey about this, because he was like kind of pulsating like in and out with his head. I reckon that's why I didn't tear. But then also doesn't explain the fact that the doctor's arms went in and I still didn't tear. So interesting.
Jackson's routine. Yeah.
We did a lot of perineal massage. Yeah. So anyone pregnant, highly recommend. Yeah. But yeah. Again, we would do it all over again if it means that you get to have this because it is just the best.
I've never been maternal in my life. I've never really been about babies. I've been like one or two here and there. But as soon as I met him, I was like, I think I'm ready. And I've never felt like that in my whole entire life. Now, obviously, I still don't want one until I'm around 30. So got 2.5 years, but who knows? And like it'd be at this point where if I got pregnant, I'd be like, oh, amazing. Like I wouldn't be freaking out.
Yeah.
And obviously I think it's because our friendship group obviously has babies and we're kind of getting into that era now. But I'm like, oh my goodness. Now, don't get me wrong. I was over in yours, Saturday night and he was crying so much. And then I kind of felt bad because I was like, well, I'm off. Have fun. And then I got home and it was dead silent. So little things like that. But like, guys, he is truly a perfection baby.
He is. He's just perfect. And Jackson and I have always said we want 3. And now we're like, I think we want 4. Like we'll have 3 and see how we feel.
I think you're having a girl as your third. I think you're going boy, boy, girl, boy.
Yeah, I do see that. I know Jackson really would love a girl next and it's the cutest thing ever. And he is already telling Tate about his sister, who we already have a name for because we only had one name. So he's manifesting hard.
And what's Tate's middle name?
Tate Jackson Edwards. So little TJ. He's going to be an athlete. He's got big hands. He's got big feet. Yeah, he's doing great. We're doing great. We're 5 weeks postpartum. We'll be 6 weeks as this episode is live. And it's just the best thing ever. Like I was just driving the car this morning and I was like, life couldn't get any better.
Oh.
And it's just wild because like anything that goes wrong, you just look at him and you're like, well, everything's fine.
That's what everyone says.
Yeah.
Everyone says as soon as you have your baby, your ambition, your goals, it all changes to just want to give them the best life that you can.
And it's like, you know, Jackson's very like driven in like wanting to provide for our family and setting us up. But then like actually physically having him here. Like I know he changed even when we got Ziggy. And he said that in the podcast with Kate, like it sounds crazy when you get a dog, but he's like, you have something to like look after. And now you have a human, you're like, your drive has always been there, but it just 10 times. Like, and to like have the freedom, have more time with him, but still like be financially flexible and things like that. It's just, it's wild. And he's just the best. Yeah.
Oh, darling. Oh, guys, that is Tori's birth story.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like that's the third time I've heard it, and every single time I have more questions.
There's something new that
comes up. I'm in shock, so I'm keen to listen to your YouTube to see what else comes up from Jackson's perspective
has
as
a
well.
lot more. Yeah.
So be very, very
and
interesting.
also to talk about like how he felt throughout that.
Jackson's a cool, calm, collected cucumber. We know this, and he literally said, "I thought I was going to lose one of them."
Yeah,
and like you could just see it in his eyes that he was like traumatic.
I like felt bad for him because I'm like, it's one thing to like go through it, but I, again, disassociated. I didn't know what was going on. He had, and my mum like had to sit there and watch and not be able to do a thing other than speak words over me of like positivity and like everything's okay. When in their head they're like, is she going to die? Is he going to die? Like, and my mum's quite traumatized.
Yeah.
Like if you speak to her about it, she will cry in 0.05 of a second.
I see her stories all the time, healing through trauma.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Lindy.
She like needs to go speak to someone. But it would be like so traumatic. Like I couldn't imagine watching my daughter go through that and then have her like look at you being like, I can't do this. Like, and then see her bleeding out. Like
Imagine
it's just,
Tate. Oh, I mean, like obviously he's not a girl, but like.
Yeah. Like it's just, I felt worse for them than I did for myself because I was like, I didn't know what was going on, so I was fine. But yeah, it's just a crazy experience. But it wasn't the birth we wanted, but it was the outcome we wanted in terms of him being fine, me being fine. In terms of like healing and stuff, it was a good 10 days was my like, I was struggling to walk and like the swelling was intense. I bled I reckon my bleeding stopped around 3 weeks.
Still wearing nappies?
Huh?
Are you still wearing nappies?
No.
Nothing?
No, not bleeding in, like at all for the last like week.
Nice.
So I reckon the 3-4 week mark I stopped bleeding. I had a few problems with my stitches. One was just sticking out, irritating me, and then it fell out. So I was like, that's great. And then I didn't actually really experience the contractions of your uterus when you breastfeed because a lot of people like Taylor and Riley were like, just wait for the contractions of your uterus going back down when you breastfeed. I didn't really experience that, and so many people told me about it.
So I think you could experience anything else.
Yeah.
Like I think your body was like, all right, tapped out.
Yeah, tapped out now. I just was I got a few here and there.
You probably did, but it just wasn't even anything close to comparison to what you went through. So everything is easy now.
The pain threshold I've gone to is like off the charts. Yeah. So now I'm like, when I'm doing deficit reverse lunges and I think I'm about to die, I'll just think back to birth and be like, hey, you can do a lunge and go through some pain. Anytime I say like ouch, I'm like, that doesn't hurt.
Yeah, you're like ouch, but like whatever.
Yeah. Wild.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that wraps everything up. Yeah. I'm sure there's going to be so many questions that come from it. So we could even do like half an episode on Friday of just some Q&As from the next week. And just run through any other questions that you guys have. Because let me tell you I feel like there's always like you have the mum perspective of questions and then you have the naive, oblivious questions like myself. Yeah. So it'll be really interesting to get a combination of both.
Yeah. And dive into it.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for listening.
Yeah.
We're here. We're in the new chapter.
Yeah.
Tate is now a new host of the podcast.
He is.
And we'll be back in your ears on Friday.
Yeah, for the chit chat and then next Monday for another valuable episode.
Love you guys so much.
Bye.